Welcome back to EBG channel. Today, we're diving deep into the brake system, calipers, pads, and rotors. First up is the rotor. After some use, it collects dirt, grime, and microparticles. The easiest fix is using a dedicated brake cleaner. You'll need a clean rag and your brake cleaner spray. You can spray directly onto the rotor, but spraying onto the rag first gives you a cleaner wipe and saves fluid. Repeat this 2 to 3 times if needed. Crucial tip, never use sandpaper directly on the rotor. Scrubbing it hard, unevenly, or in circles will cause deep scratches, ruin the surface, and cause severe brake judder. Keep it simple. Clean it just enough, don't soak it, and don't over-scrub. Okay, moving on to the caliper and brake pads. First, we need to remove the caliper. Use a 6mm hex to loosen the 2 main bolts for the front wheel. For the rear, you'll have to remove the wheel completely. Don't pull the caliper off just yet. While it's still mounted on the bike, use a 4mm hex to loosen the 2 pad pins as shown in the clip. This makes them much easier to break loose. Now, fully remove the first 2 main bolts to take the caliper off. Grab the 4mm hex again, fully remove those 2 pins, and disassemble everything. Next, remember to slide the bracket out horizontally to remove it. Now, simply pull the brake pads out. As you can see, the inside of this caliper is super dirty. The brake pads are glazed and hardened. The other pad is exactly the same. The rest of the caliper is covered in grime, and the areas that need grease are completely dried out. Next step, grab a brush to scrub these pads and knock off all the random debris. For the tight grooves, use a small flathead screwdriver to pick out the trapped gunk. Repeat this until it's clean. After all the scrubbing and picking, hit it with the brake cleaner spray one more time and give it another scrub to completely wash out the metal dust and shavings. Okay, that part is done. Let's resurface the pads. Notice how the surface is glazed and shiny? It currently has scoring lines and isn't fully clean. We're going to use the finest grit sandpaper you can find. Place it on a perfectly flat surface, put the brake pad face down, and sand it in a figure 8 motion. It's smoother now, but still has some lines. Keep sanding until those lines are completely gone. This might take a bit of time, and once it's done properly, repeat the same process with the other brake pad. Moving on, use a brush to clean the inside of the caliper. If the brush is too big, use an old toothbrush to get into those tight corners better. Make sure to thoroughly clean the piston surface. Focus heavily on the outer wall of these pistons right here. Then, grab your spray and wash it down. Once clean, use your 2 fingers to push the pistons back in. See the difference between these two? Use your 2 fingers and push them all the way in. Okay, done. Now grab the bracket and scrub it clean. Alternatively, you can wash it with soap if you have some. Dish soap works perfectly fine. You don't necessarily need a specialized cleaner. For this part, regular dish soap gets the job done. Once everything is done, it's time to reassemble. With everything cleaned up, apply grease inside this hole on the bracket and apply grease onto this sliding pin as well. After greasing, look at the groove right here. Lock the boot into this groove on the bracket. Snap it in. Just like that. Okay, done. Finally, use thread locking. We use it to lock the bolt threads. Apply it right here on the bracket bolts. You only need 1 drop. Drop 1 tear on this. Drop 1 tear on this thing also. And this thing also. Once everything is done, it's time to reassemble. Finally, remount the caliper onto the bike. Remember to slide the bracket horizontally onto these 2 pins. Make sure it seats perfectly in the grooves, fully covering both pins. Next, align the 2 brake pads back to their original position. Hold the assembly like this and slowly slide them into the caliper housing. Now, use a 4mm hex key to guide through the alignment holes on the pads. This step requires precision to ensure the holes are perfectly aligned with the threads on the caliper body. Reinsert the pins and snug them up. Don't over-tighten yet. We'll give them a final torque once the caliper is mounted for a more secure and accurate fit. Looking good. Now let's get it back on the bike. Reinstall the two 6mm bolts, torque them down, and remember to finish tightening those two pad pins from earlier. Once everything is secured, check the caliper like this. Grab it and make sure it slides back and forth smoothly. If it's moving freely, you're golden. The final step is to pump the brakes and verify the response. Boom, there you have it. A basic guide on how to clean your caliper. It's been a long video, so if you have any questions or topics you'd like to see covered, leave a comment down below.